shoes.
To a man who I love very much, Jeremy Darnell.
At 75, Barbi Benton, the famous sex symbol of the 1970s, has finally broken her silence. For the first time, she opened up about her life behind the scenes, along with her controversial relationship with Playboy mogul Hugh Hefner. In this shocking sharing, Barbi also revealed the long-standing controversies that have lasted throughout her career, along with a series of daring roles that she has refused over the years. Let's discover the never-before-revealed behind-the-scenes secrets that will be revealed in today's video. Barbi Benton was born on January 28, 1950, in New York City, into an intellectual and disciplined Jewish family. Her father, Dr. Victor Klein, was a strict military doctor who always put discipline first. Her mother, Helen Klein, was a meticulous accountant who lived a disciplined life and always wanted her daughter to have a stable, well-directed life. The family hoped that Barbi would pursue a formal education and build a solid, secure career. However, when she moved to Sacramento, California, Barbi began to show that she did not belong to the safe lifestyle that her parents wanted. From an early age, she exuded a special charm and a strong passion for the arts. Music, theater, and performance soon became an indispensable part of her personality. And by the age of 16, when most of her friends were still struggling to shape their future, Barbi had begun to enter the world, making the whole world look back. While many 16-year-old girls were still hesitant with their dreams of school and prom, Barbi Benton chose a different path for herself, bold, adventurous, and completely outside the mold that her parents expected. Initially, modeling was just a simple way to earn extra income to help with living expenses. But the young girl possessed an unmistakable beauty, an enchanting blend of elegant classicism and modern innocence. It was not shocking sexiness, but a gentle but irresistible attraction, a true American sweetheart image that America in the 60s was craving. Barbi did not just have a bright face on the screen. She had charisma, something that made it easy for people to believe that she would be more than just a pretty face in the crowd. When she moved to California, she began to clearly express her desire to pursue the arts, especially music and performance. She took piano lessons, participated in school performances, and gradually asserted herself in her new environment, a more open, but also more harsh place. In 1968, at the age of 18, Barbi got her first big break. She landed a supporting role on Playboy After Dark, a popular entertainment show of the time, where artists, models, and celebrities met in a simulated party setting. It was here that her life took a whole new turn, when she met Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner, by then already a legend, the founder of Playboy, the man behind one of the most powerful and controversial brands in America. Meeting Barbi on set, he was immediately drawn to her special aura. It wasn't just her beauty, but her combination of intelligence, understated charm, and an innocent demeanor that made others curious. Despite being nearly 30 years older than her, Hefner didn't just show his romantic interest. He saw Barbi Benton as an icon, a character who could become a pop culture icon. He advised her to change her stage name from Barbara Lynn Klein to Barbi Benton. A short, catchy, evocative name, reminiscent of the Barbie doll that dominated American culture, but also imbued with maturity and self-assurance. With strong support from Hefner, Barbi quickly became a familiar face of Playboy. But she didn't stop there. She took every opportunity to expand herself, studying acting, practicing singing, and looking for roles with real depth. Many Playboy models are only remembered for their nude photos, but Barbi was different. She knew how to transform herself into a complete entertainer. One of the big turning points was when she participated in the program Hee Haw, a famous comedy series combined with music, where Barbi not only showed off her appearance but also revealed her sense of humor and natural performance ability. She was no longer limited to the framework of Hugh Hefner's beauty, but gradually became an independent name, truly loved by the audience. From there, Barbi appeared in a series of other famous TV shows such as The Love Boat and Fantasy Island, affirming herself not only as a sex symbol, but also as a true star of American television in its golden age. On the small screen of the 70s, the name Barbi Benton was not too prominent in terms of the number of roles. But each time she appeared, even in guest roles in series such as Fantasy Island or Chips, she left an impression thanks to her characteristic stage presence and unmistakable charm. Barbi was not the type of star who spoke loudly in the media, but her presence always brought a memorable feeling. She was not only Hugh Hefner's lover, not only a familiar face on the cover of Playboy, but a cultural icon with real entertainment ability, enough to stand alone among the stars of that time. But if I had to choose a field that most clearly demonstrated Barbi's ability and desire to surpass her limits, it would be music. While her reputation was still shining brightly in the television and showbiz world, Barbi suddenly turned to country music. A genre with a strong American tradition, associated with a simple, familiar image, sometimes with the melancholy color of everyday life. For a Playboy model, who is associated with a sexy image and a lavish lifestyle, this was a risky choice. Many people were skeptical. Could the public accept a rustic Barbi Benton with a guitar, singing in the space of sad love songs? But Barbi did not come to music for show. Throughout the 70s, she worked hard on her art, releasing 4 consecutive country music albums, an impressive number even for professional singers at that time. Under a serious look and thorough investment, Barbi constantly learned, practiced her composing ability, and improved her stage performance techniques. She sang not only with technique, but with experience, emotion, and the desire to be recognized as a true artist. The clearest evidence of that achievement is the song Brass Buckles, released in 1975, which quickly entered the top 5 of the Billboard Country Music Chart, one of the most prestigious music ranking systems in the United States. With Brass Buckles, the audience saw for the first time a different Barbi's deep, narrative, and full of inner strength. The peak came in 1976, when she released the hit Ain't That Just the Way. The song not only made a strong impression in the US, but also crossed the Atlantic to become a phenomenon in Europe, especially Sweden, where it stayed on the charts for many consecutive weeks. The rustic melody, contemplative lyrics, and Barbi's warm voice made this song go beyond the model singing boundary. It was the product of a true artist, fighting and overcoming prejudice on her own. But the halo, as usual, did not last forever. After nearly a decade of partying, fame, and a life framed by the media, Barbi began to tire. In 1976, the same year that marked her musical peak, she also made a major decision, ending her nearly 8-year relationship with Hugh Hefner. There was no scandal, no back and forth. The breakup was quiet and respectful. For Barbi, it was not just the end of a love affair, but the beginning of a new phase of adulthood, where she withdrew from the spotlight, seeking a quieter, more private life, one that she could control. When the entertainment magazines first reported the breakup of Barbi Benton and Hugh Hefner, what surprised the public was not the end, but the way they parted ways, quietly and calmly. In a world where breakups are often colored by tears, betrayal, or sensational headlines, this breakup was more like two old friends who had traveled a long way together, now politely nodding, thanking each other, and going their separate ways. It wasn't a shock, it was a mature choice, after nearly a decade of building their image together. Becoming an iconic couple in the Playboy world, Barbi knew very well their relationship had reached its final limit. No longer suitable, no longer necessary, and above all, no longer a place for her to develop. Many people thought that after Hefner, Barbi would continue to choose men of the same sex, directors, producers, and influential figures in Hollywood. but she once again surprised everyone. In 1979, she married George Grotto, a real estate businessman who was completely unfamiliar with the spotlight. Not famous, not interested in appearing in public, and having absolutely no connection to the showbiz world, that was the special thing that attracted Barbi. George didn't bring fame, but he brought something Barbi had never really had before: security. A simple kind of peace, where she wasn't a Playboy Barbie, not a celebrity who needed to maintain an image, but simply a woman who was loved for who she was. After getting married, the couple left the glitz of California to move to Aspen, Colorado, a mountainous region where snow covers the land year-round and nature is like a white blanket covering all the noise of the outside world. There were no red carpets, no press conferences, no lavish parties. But there was what Barbi was looking for: the quiet to be real. In that peaceful setting, Barbi began a very personal project, designing her dream home. Without hiring a famous architect, she sketched out every detail herself, from the soft curves inspired by nature, to the copper-plated interior that reflects sunlight, to the open spaces that let the mountain breezes into every corner. The house was unlike any other Hollywood mansion, and it didn't need to be. It was Barbi, unconventional, unduplicated, and completely free in its creation. When she became pregnant with her first daughter in the early 1980s, the media began to ask, would Barbi return to music, to television, or at least continue to maintain her celebrity image? But the answer came in 1986, when the child was born, was a resounding no, no official announcement. No farewell press conference. Just a quiet and intentional disappearance. The media called it one of the most mysterious retreats in American showbiz. But the truth is, Barbi didn't disappear. She simply chose to live in a way she had never been allowed to before, to be a mother, a wife, and to be herself, without performing. For her, the biggest stage at the moment was no longer the spotlight or the recording studio, but the kitchen table where she cooked for her family, the interior design drawing table, the afternoons teaching her children to read, or the early morning walks with her husband through the pine forest covered in dew. Despite a nearly 3-decade age difference, Hefner was quickly drawn to Benton's distinctive beauty, a harmonious blend of innocence, intelligence, and charisma. But he was more than just emotionally attracted. Hefner saw Benton's star potential, and it was he who suggested that she change her stage name to Barbi Benton, a short, memorable, and commercially viable name, reminiscent of the Barbie doll, an American pop culture icon. With Hefner's strong backing, Barbi Benton's career quickly took off. Not only did she appear on the cover of Playboy magazine, she also gradually moved into television and popular entertainment. One of her big steps was a regular role on the musical comedy show Hee Haw. Here, Benton not only showed off her beauty but also demonstrated her acting, comedy, and singing abilities, helping her gradually escape the image of a Playboy girl and assert herself as a true entertainer. Not stopping there, Barbi Benton also appeared in many famous TV series such as The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, and Chips. Although most of them were just guest roles, her appearances were always loved by the audience thanks to her stage presence and unique charm. From here, Barbi Benton's image was not just Hugh Hefner's girlfriend, but a versatile artist with depth and comprehensive performance ability. However, the most prominent highlight in Benton's career was not television but music. In a bold decision, she pursued country music, a genre that is not easy to approach, especially with the image of a beauty associated with sexiness. However, Benton surprised everyone by releasing 4 consecutive country albums in the 1970s, notably the song Brass Buckles, which reached the top 5 on the Billboard Country chart in late 1975. Occasionally, she still appears at some charity events, some reunions with old friends in the industry, but always keeps her distance. No interviews, no being photographed, no statements to remind people of the past. Barbi does not try to erase what once made her famous, but she also does not let it control her current life. It is a thin line, between the past and the present that she maintains very clearly. For those who used to admire Barbie at her peak, her retreat into seclusion is a pity. But for Barbie herself, it is the greatest victory of her life. Because what she has always longed for, after all the years of being labeled, being defined by the image of others, is to decide for herself. And in the end, it is not the covers, the TV shows, or the music charts that are her greatest achievement, but the fact that Barbi Benton dared to step out of the spotlight, gently, proudly, and with full autonomy. Thank you for watching the video. Please watch our next videos. Thank you and see you again.